Imagine being so loved that people would watch a video about you just to learn unknown facts about your life and adventures. I can't relate to being loved like that. Bruce Wayne has quite the history, from fighting off sharks to going on double dates with Catwoman, Superman, and Lois Lane. The billionaire bachelor, while not attending board of director meetings, has had many adventures laced with action, comedic moments, and just plain cringy situations. There's a lot we don't know about the dark rich boy in Gotham City, so grab a bucket of popcorn, hydrate yourself with some water because it's healthy, and let's rock and roll into 25 facts you don't know about Bruce Wayne. In Detective Comics Volume 1, number 845, Bruce uses an online chat room to gauge other people's viewpoints on a recent murder. Chatting with the likes of Detective Chimp and the Riddler, he assumes the screen name of John Doe 297. I wonder if Batman uses Tinder. Date night in the Batcave, baby! This one's pretty understandable. Bruce's middle name is Thomas, named after his deceased father, Thomas Wayne. My middle name is Tony, like Tony Soprano. Much less meaningful. According to Forbes, the billionaire bachelor himself is worth a cool $7 billion, which is a whole lot of fancy suits and Lamborghinis that he's been seen in recent movies. With a collection of supercomputers, insane supersuits, and fancy furniture, it adds up pretty quickly. I wonder how much Alfred makes a year. I should apply. Bruce Wayne actually had an older brother that was 3 years older than him. Having such a tragic backstory as Bruce Wayne is unimaginable, but what is even worse is that his brother suffered a car crash as a child and developed permanent brain injuries, which left him mentally unstable. He later escaped the asylum he was put in and became an assassin known as the Boomerang Killer, but then took a bullet for his brother Bruce and died. My brother won't even respond to my Twitter DMs. I'm calling you out, Nicholas. Young Batman went through a bit of a rough patch when his parents were tragically gunned down in front of him. As to be expected, he had a rather tough time at school. He ended up getting expelled from the Gotham Academy because after being triggered one day, he had an episode where he set fire on a professor's lawn over a question the professor asked him earlier in the day. Boy, that is hardcore, man. Boy, this one should be on HGTV. Wayne Manor, Bruce Wayne's mansion, is actually in the shape of a bat, which is honestly the sweetest thing on the list. Hey, baby, I'm over in the left wing. Oh my god, is that why they call sections of mansion wings? I am Einstein. Speaking of, Mr. Wayne's IQ is said to be 192. Einstein's IQ was said to be upwards of 180. Are we saying that Batman is smarter than Einstein? No wonder he's so successful at being a hero. Hey Siri, Google how to raise your IQ now. After the death of his parents, Bruce started training at the age of 14. He studied chemistry, criminology, gymnastics, martial arts, forensics, etc. He really put the time and effort into becoming one of the world's best superheroes. Good lord, when I was 14, I was stoked about my new Undertaker action figure. Bruce Wayne is said to speak over 40 different languages. Ask me when he had time to learn all that? Well, man, I just told you, he started training at 14. He had a lot of time to learn such languages like computer programming. Gotta track the criminals in the digital age somehow, am I right? My billionaire buddy actually had a wife and kids. In some realities. Comic books love alternate realities, and it hurts my brain. In 1949, Batman married an unknown woman and had a son named Bruce Jr. God, why Bruce Jr.? Why not any other name? His son actually fell in love with Superman's daughter, Supergirl. I wonder if they're still together. My man has been stacking cheese heavy since the 30s. He's been on the fictional Forbes 15 since 1939. There's very few businessmen who can stay rich and famous and powerful like Wayne has for over 75 years. I still think Tony Stark is way more loaded though. Sorry, B-Dub. When his parents died, Bruce became obsessed with revenge for a long time when he was younger. He spent a while practicing revenge in case he ever came across his parents' killer. Alfred grew concerned and made a moral code with Bruce to never kill someone, which was not always followed. The Batcave is accessed in many different ways. One, including a grandfather clock in the main study when you set the time to exactly 10:47, which is the exact time his parents were killed. That's just sad, Brucey boy. Also, where did you get a clock that opens a door when you change the time? That's just ridiculous. It's no secret that Wayne Enterprises is super rich. The company has been in Bruce's family for many generations, so that's a lot of time to rake in boatloads of cash. But Wayne Enterprises has stakes in aerospace, food, biotechnology, electronics, entertainment, shipping, medicine, and much, much more. It reports an annual revenue of $31.1 billion. Damn, Wayne Enterprises, relax, man. Isn't there like a massive homeless problem in Gotham? Speaking of businesses, Bruce Wayne is actually part owner of the Daily Planet, which is the newspaper and Superman that Clark Kent works at. Batman is technically Superman's boss. Bruce is the rich boy, and Clark Kent has an office job and cheap glasses and a farmhouse. Pay your employees more, man! One wild fact about Bruce Wayne is that he only met Hitler once. While other superheroes during World War II were fighting Nazis and Hitler every other day, Bruce Wayne was staying away. That was until Nazis came into Gotham City and Batman threw tennis balls at Hitler, as seen on the cover of World's Finest #9. Why tennis balls? At least get a rock. Makes no sense. It's no secret that Batman and Catwoman have some chemistry. On Earth 2, Catwoman eventually revealed her identity to Bruce, and they got engaged and had a child. The daughter was named Helena Wayne. Why isn't this in one of the movies? No wonder they were so rough with each other. They were in love, man. Bruce Wayne is actually not the only Batman. In the confusing and tangled mess of alternate universes, the black leather suit of Batman has been worn by the likes of Commissioner Gordon, Bane, and Plastic Man, to name a few. With the new Batman multiverse having 52 different worlds, it's bound to happen sometime. In the animated Justice League series, it is revealed that Bruce Wayne keeps a stock of kryptonite handy. He claims it's for insurance purposes, just in case Superman goes rogue. He later had it made into a ring that he keeps with him when dealing with Justice League missions. This one's pretty crazy. In the Flashpoint Paradox storyline, Bruce is actually the one that dies in the alleyway instead of his parents, and Martha Wayne, Bruce's mother, went a tad bit off the charts crazy as a result and became the Joker. During this particular timeline, it is revealed that Thomas Wayne actually becomes a gritty version of Batman that kills people and uses guns. Martha then passed away by her own hand after learning that the alternate reality Bruce from World 52 would become Batman. Before Alfred developed a no-kill policy with Bruce at a young age, it's kind of shocking to learn that he used to use guns in the early age of the comics. He was more of a crime fighter in those days rather than a superhero. Given that his parents were killed with guns, it was probably a better choice to leave the guns behind. Before Billionaire Boy completely redesigned the caves underneath his house to a superhero hideout with a sick name, the previous generations of the Wayne family actually used the tunnels to help slaves escape injustice. Heck to the yes, Solomon and Joshua Wayne. You guys are awesome. I can imagine life gets pretty lonely when you're 14 years old and training to be the world's best superhero. Bruce Wayne actually had a pen pal, and it was the Penguin. He had a long-term game of chess through their letters, and it's crazy that they grew up writing each other before they hated one another. Who won the game, though? That's what I want to know. The sober king himself, Bruce Wayne, barely drinks. Even after hosting parties, being the most eligible bachelor in the city, nights out on the town, he always said that he has to keep his mind right and sober in case he has to jump into action. He has stated that he pretends to drink at parties to throw off any scent that he may be Batman. What a stand-up guy. Kids, take notes. The two biggest names in superhero business, Batman and Superman. It's surprising to find out that their fathers were actually in contact with each other. After Superman's father decided to send him to Earth, Thomas Wayne used the kryptonite technology to further advances and revitalize Wayne Enterprises to avoid going bankrupt. Ah, the classic profit hunt. You sneaky man, Thomas Wayne. I hope we all learned something from the billionaire emo boy from Gotham City. There is always much more underneath the surface. There is much more to the man behind the mask than his bank account or tragic backstory. Some people live double lives, but there are at least 52 lives that Bruce Wayne is living. I wonder which universe it is where he has bat nipples. Holy 10-minute video, Batman, you made it! What were some facts that you didn't know about Bruce Wayne? What are some of your favorite moments in the Batman universe? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, everybody, thanks for watching.